Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of our Battle Royale survival tutorial series. In the last episode, we set up our basic system, so when we click our toggle buttons, we can swap out our player pawn. As you can see, the clothing hasn't actually changed for setting up this, so that's the first thing we're going to do. And obviously we don't actually have any functionality for our clothing yet either. So, let's get into that. The first thing we're going to do is quickly clean up our script here. So before we go anywhere, we want to say at the end of this script, so our on-clicked CP right toggle, so that is this toggle here. When we click that and it selects the female, we want to then give it a boolean. So let's create a variable and we'll call this is female 001. So we want to check and see if it is this character. So when we have created the character, we want to set this to true. So is female 001 is true. Okay? And then down here we want to set this back to our base character, so the male 001. So let's create a boolean for that as well. So is male 001, and also set this one to true down here. Okay. Now when we set these to true and false, we also need to set the female 001 here to false. Okay. And then up here we want to set our male 001 to false. Okay. So now this will allow us to differentiate between the female 001 and the male 001 when calling the rest of our clothing arrays. Okay, so let's now clean this up a little bit and collapse it into a function. So I think we can grab all of this until we hit this condition. Okay, now if we right click and collapse to function, we now have a new function. Okay, and as you can see, we have an input for our array index. That's exactly what we need. So let's just rename this to set pawn and compile and save it. Now if we go inside this function, you can see it's here. We want to also set our male pawn in here as well. So let's just, okay, that's okay. Let's jump back to our event graph, and if we scroll down here, we want to grab all of this to the condition, the same as we did for the top one, and let's just cut it and paste it in here. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to drag from our false, from this condition, and place it into this branch. So what this does is it will bring in the function, it will check and see if the index is is equal to 1, and if the index is equal to 1, then we set up our female. Now if this comes back false and the index, so let's just drag from the index to here, is 0 and it comes back true, then we want to set up our male. Okay, so before we go any further, let's just rename this input to index. It's not letting me rename, hang on a second. Okay, let's just close this input and put a new input in. For some reason it's buggy and not letting me rename, so let's just rename this index. We will drag this to here and also drag it down to here. Okay, so now we have our set pawn, and if you were bringing in any more characters, you would obviously just keep on putting it down the false branch. So if the index is not 1 and if the index is not 0, And if the index is 2, for example, or 3 or 4, then you just keep on going down the list. Okay? So let's close off that. And as you can see, we have our set pawn. We want to just drag the index to here. So this now sets up our pawn. Now let's copy this and paste it down here, because this now replaces the left toggle as well. Okay, now if we compile and save and press play, we can test this and see that it works as it should. Okay, now the next thing we need to set up is our default mesh for the clothing, because when we click this, we want our female clothing to appear as our default. Okay, so let's pop back here and let's set up our default mesh. So similar to these ones here, we have to get a component. So do we want to set this up in here? No, I think we will set this up in a separate function. So the first thing we need to do is head over to our base character. Now we want to give our base character some tags. So just like we did the mesh, we give it body mesh. If you type in tag at the top here and go to the top, we want to set this to top mesh, and then go to bottoms and set this to bottoms mesh, and shoes, we'll set this to shoes mesh, and here we'll set this to here mesh. Okay, so let's compile and save this. Now remember, the children obviously are replicated as well. So what we want to do is we want to create a new function to add to here that is similar to this. So okay, so what we need here is we need to set this up here as well. So let's grab these. So we want the make slate brush and the set brush, and we want to take this. We actually want this for each loop. No, we don't need the for each loop. Yeah, we will need a for each loop, sorry. I think, because we could use the get from this. Yeah. So let's take these, let's copy them. Let's create a new function. Okay. And let's paste them in there just now. Okay. So we want to set the icons here, first of all. So the hair icon, if we go to female, we want this to be our female. 0 for the array. So let's head back to our graph, pull this out. Okay, now we want to set our hair image, so let's drag that into there. Okay, and let's set, I'm trying to think if I want to do both in here at the same time and just check for male or female. Yeah, let's try it this way first. Okay, so we want to use our female hair array. Okay, so let's get that. From here we can use a get. This will allow us to specify the index number, and it will give us the element for that index. Okay, so that will allow us to set the hair image. Okay. So when we press play, sorry, we don't have it actually equipped. So let's pop back to our event graph and let's just drag this new function in. We will rename it in just a second, just to see if it works. So when we press play, we go to female, we can see the image changes automatically. This is exactly what we want. Okay, so we want to call this function, let's rename it. We'll rename it set female 001 clothing. Okay, that seems okay. Okay, so after we do this, we then want to set our hair. Is it the hair? Yeah? Yeah, it's the hair. So we want to set the hair, so we want to get the hair mesh from the component. So let's just pop back to here. And if we jump inside our set pawn, we can get some of these parameters here. So let's just grab the get player character. And we want the for each loop, we want the set skeletal mesh. We don't need this instance. Yeah, so that's everything we need. Let's copy this. And if we head over to our set female clothing and paste it into here. So when we set our female, we want to set the clothing based on our hair mesh. Okay. And this hair mesh will be our female hair 001. So let's compile and save that and let's give it a test. So if you go to our female, it automatically sets our hair. We head back to our male, we can see the hair is still set to the females. So we have to reset this back to the male later on when we do our male function. So let's continue on with this. Let's drag this out. Sorry, not that. Okay. Just create a little bit of space because we need more of these. So let's grab this and paste it here. And let's just drag this down to here. And we can pull that up to here. Okay. So we need one for, this is hair, we need one for top, we need one for bottoms. So let's just do that. We need one for, so hair, top, bottoms, shoes. I think that's them all, isn't it? So hair, top, bottom, shoes. Yep. Okay. So let's just drag these up to here. Okay. And now we need our image, our images from the designer. So we need to grab these images and set them. So let's grab our, let me see, female top. Let's pop that into, sorry, that's the array. It's going to be the top image. Okay. Drag that to there. And the, I think I don't have a, I don't think I've renamed something here. Hang on a second. I think it may be the bottoms image. No, I actually have that there. Bottoms image. Not sure what that is. It's maybe my background. It's throwing me off a little. Yeah. Sorry about that. That's my background image. Okay. So let's drag in the bottoms image to here. And then the shoes image to here. Okay. And each one of these has to be set by an array, and that will be our, so the first one was our top, so we want our female top array, drag that to here, and the next one is our bottoms, then our shoes, so female bottoms array, okay, and then the next one is the shoes array. So what this is doing is when we, let's play it, when we switch to our female, you see all the icons change to the female icons. We still have to set the mesh, so hang on just a second, because that here should have set for us. Yeah, I think I broke the hair. Excellent. Oh yeah, this is why. So let's connect that back up. Okay. So from here, let's just drag this. Let's drag it to here just now, so we can drag off some more of these. So we need another 3 of these. So 1. And drag from the execute. Sorry, I'm confusing myself with this being here. Okay. And then just copy and paste another 2 of these. Okay. And 1 more. So for this we want to set the mesh. So the first one was our hair mesh. Our next one would be our, let me see, so we want our top mesh. Okay. And this just finds the components with top mesh. And we want to change this to top 001. This one here. Okay. And the next one was our bottoms mesh. And we want to change this to female bottoms 001. And then our hair mesh, sorry, our shoes mesh, and change this to female 001 shoes 001. Okay, now when we compile and save this, it should swap all our mesh. So now we have clothing on our female as default. But the problem we now have is when we go back to our male, we're now wearing the women's clothing. So we now need to set up our male here and our male clothing, okay? So we could actually copy this entire thing here. So let's just grab our female 001 clothing and duplicate it. And we just want to change this to male 001 clothing. Okay. And inside the male 001 clothing, we just want to swap out the arrays first of all. So this is the hair, which will be our male hair array, and just drag that into the array. And if we head down here, we want the top, so let's delete this, and we want our male top array, okay, and then our bottoms, so we want our male bottoms array, and then our shoes, so we want our male shoes array, okay. And now we need to swap out our mesh, so all we have to do here is change the hair first of all. So let's go to the male hair 001, and this one's for our top, so the male top 001, and this one is our bottoms, so male bottoms 001, and this one is our shoes, so male shoes 001. So compile and save this, and when we press play we can switch over to our female and it has all our clothes, and we can switch back to the male. Sorry, we don't have it connected yet. So let's head over to our event graph, and we have to connect this up to the switch for the male. So when it switches over to our male, we want to drag in our set male clothing. Just pop that over there, compile and save. Now when we press play, it swaps out. So it not only swaps out the clothing at the side, the icons, it also swaps out the clothing on the character. Okay, so I think I'm going to end this here, and I'll just split this up into two parts, because the next part we will be setting up each one of these toggles to interact with our character based on whether or not they are female 001 or male 001. And this can get kind of messy. Right now we are okay, we don't have too much mess or clutter going on, but when we start bringing in a lot more buttons, it will start to get cluttered up. So I'll end the video here, and I'll see you in the next one, which will hopefully be uploaded directly after this. Okay.